Yes, we are ready. Sorry. Excuse me. We're ready.
Ready? Heartbreaker. I'm so sorry. That's reflection.
What I see in front of me, I like. I like the repetitiveness. I like the impact. I like the tonality. One of the things is how a title is to the image. The wrong title was red, and I actually like that title better than what the maker gave me. So so we had to readjust a little bit, but it did not hurt the print at all. What I would like to see is the image, the top center image is the sharpest, and in reality, I would almost like that we'd like that muted down, almost like the one underneath it, and have the image to the left that sharp. And I think you can move in post-production, move those images around to flip them. I think that would have far more impact coming in from the left to the right to have the sharpest image on the left.
The one reflection on the left beside them bothers me, it pulls me out. The others do not. I like it.
I think it's a fun image. Again, that was 79. Fall classic.
What I'm seeing in front of me is a lot of impact. We're seeing it, the person tilted a little bit, so her feet would be not quite pointing to the lower left-hand corner, but I think that would give you a diagonal line that would have improved it. To work with what you have in front of you, the ground right underneath her, it looks like the leaves have either been matted down or swept away so that she could lay in there. I'd like to see the leaves return back in there, and you have enough information in the image that digitally you can do that type of work. And the lighting, I mean, it's the wrong time of day. Looks like it was taken right at high noon, so it's very flat. Her face is the tonality on her face should be the same as on her legs, and that needs to be addressed.
I enjoy the natural vignette that's on it, but I think that the bottom is too weighted. I don't enjoy her being dead at center. I think it would give her more room to almost float, if it were, if there was about 1.5 inches off the bottom, and I've already, what Tom said about the lighting on her face.
Again, the white mat does nothing for it. It's a little too busy for me. I'd like to really see her, and I think that diagonal angle would help. 76. Steely gaze.
I think the technique that was applied to the image is actually hurting the image because it looks like he either has freckles or oil or spots on his skin tone, and I really don't think it's needed. So I like to see that either played back at least 50%, especially on his skin tone. I like the feel of it. I like the barrels in the background. I would like a little different time of day for the directional lighting. Even if you get in a situation and you have to take it this time of day, get a large flat, a black flat above them as a roof, and then that brings that light in at that proper angle from left to right to help you out.
Also, the ear is the brightest spot, that I'm seeing, except the whites of the eyes and the ear. I just keep going right to that ear.
I feel that this is either needs to be desaturated more, where you're starting to change it more, or turn it to a black and white. I also don't like the cyan or the blue green on the side of his collar.
And the haloing on the bar to the left of him, the technique has exaggerated that to not to them.
78. The chapel. $77.
I don't mind the wide angle lens on here. That actually lends to the effect of the bride and groom. The fan above it looks like there's some movement in there, so I would either exaggerate that or try to, I don't know, even cropping that out would possibly help. That bothers me. I like the pose on the bride and groom. I wish the bouquet and his arm were down 6 inches. That would have pleased my sense of that part of the body being bent. But I like the pose. It's very formal, and it lends itself to their personality. No comment.
The fabric that's lit behind them is slightly blown. Also, it's so pink, while the light down below, the colors just don't feel cohesive to me.
Desaturating it?
Maybe desaturating, or they're changing that pink to a warmer color instead of the magenta and the pink in it.
Yeah.
Superfly.
I'd like to see a little more room around him. He's obviously jumping, so I would like to see more room below him to show that he is at the height of the apex of the jump. The clothing and stuff is on an upward thrust, so that you can see that the movement and stuff there. Expression is good. Lighting is good. I like it. I think it with just a little tweaks, it would be very close to a mirror. And get rid of the black mat.
I feel that this kind of a young man really doesn't let him have a portrait of him. I mean, it's a nice inside portrait. This guy's got attitude. Let's get him out to a skate park. Let's get him into the environment of this and let this kid be himself. If that is him.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
77. Cool smoke.
Okay, I like the attitude. I like the feel. The cyan that's on her back arm kept me from going higher than I did. She is warm in color and tonality. The background with the guys are cold. I like that contrast. I like that feel. There's a little bit of the red in her hair lends itself to that. Her body art lends itself to her attitude. I would like to have seen that back wrist broken down a little bit so it's bent inward instead of outward. I think that would also have taken care of the angle and got rid of that cyan on the arm.
The bottom is still a little distracting for what to do, and I don't think it needs to be there. If you start looking at their faces, I don't think you need that bottom area with all the green across it. Right at the fingertips is what I would do with that.
Or to just desaturate the
yes, right. It's distracting for the tonal range and everything. There's a couple pockets on these guys' arms that I see that distract, and this is when you get a nice print. We really start to pick it apart because we like it.
Yeah,
one.
there's some spots up in the smoke too, little white spots that need to go, and hot spots. The sky second from the left, there's a light pocket that's kind of floating in the air above his shoulders, and then her cigarette, right above her
Yellow.
cigarette, there's
What
her
do I-
cigar.
That's the ash. That's the ash.
No, right above it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a fun. I agree that I like the cool and the warm. There is a little bit of artifacts and pixelation in the smoke up there. I don't know. It almost needs desaturated. There just is missing something, but I like the feel of it. I think you should just take it a step further and you jump it up.
The key line and the background on the map, I think needs to be addressed, but I think he has something here you can work with.
And then his hot spot, the guy on the right, his chin and neck is too hot, so cool that down as well.
81. Soccer phenom.
The thing that strikes me first is the boy in the back is stretched and stretched out horizontally, and that distortion really bothers me.
The one in the print competition, you actually have to remove the logo from the image, and so I don't have any issues with today since we're doing critiquing on that. What bothers me is soccer is flat out 90 minutes of going as fast as you can. Somebody gets injured, they basically check him. If he's not dying, they leave him on the field and play around him. So the tightness that you have around these images is what bothers me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So he doesn't have anywhere to run. He doesn't have anywhere to shoot. The image on the left side has the most room around him. So I'd like to see the images smaller, get rid of some of the framing around them. In fact, that may just be what it is. The background image that Lori had talked about, knock that down just in the tonalities, and then get rid of the framing around each one of the images and blend them in there. And I think you've got an idea of going in the right direction. And also the flag in the center image by his right hand bothers me.
Also, the cyan of the whites, to me, the cool and the warm don't quite complement each other like they should. He does pop, but I would think that those shadows should go into the warm instead of to the cool.
I just want to make a general comment that overall we've seen prints like this where they are composite prints, and this is one of the simpler ones, and it works better because it is that. It is not so cluttered where your eye can actually rest on each image and feel good about it. So I compliment the maker for this composition.
79. Little Luca prays. $74.
I think the selection is an issue here for me, and then also the background is an issue for me. Take care of those with a little bit of different lighting. I think you're heading in the right direction. But I don't think this is an image that should be used or considered for film competition at this time.
Ditto.
Life with the Boys.
Sometimes you get handed with what they walk into the camera room with. And obviously the greens and orange and blue are fighting each other just straight from the get-go. I think this image is way too tight. I'd like to see a square image of it. It may have worked better. Into a black and white may have worked better. And again, if this is all that's handed to you, sometimes if they have T-shirts on underneath, you can do that and throw up a white background and run that way. Or if they're all boys and mom is up to it, you know, have them take their shirts off and go that route. You may have something to work with.
I agree with that. Make it black and white. I don't like the oldest young man's hand is almost bigger than the faces of the younger kids.
The side light, the hair light is also too strong.
And I think lens selection also would take care of the issue of that big hand covering his tummy. And sometimes when the little ones don't want to be in the picture, that's the only way you can corral them. So.
72. Swimmer.
Some of the things I'm looking at here is if this is a composite, and I'm sorry, I have a technical problem here. There we go. Solved my technical problem. Back to if it is a composite, then the upper left shoulder, what I'm looking at, is blurry and fuzzy. So if that was cut out, then that's off. The water droplets on that shoulder are all blocked up. And then if you look down in the lower hand towards her torso where the swimsuit comes in, you can see the fine hairs there. So the separation was done very nicely. And I'm really getting nitpicky here because the judges will eat you alive if you don't nail all this. Under her right arm is the halo and stuff like that. The separation there, you can see a black line. And again, you need to take care of that. And then the water underneath her left elbow, which is to our right, has a purple cast to it that I'm not seeing coming through anywhere else. Yeah, and so again, I'm getting nitpicky here on this, but overall image, I like it, and it's a good start to work with.
The highlights in her eyes bothers me slightly. They're too large. I like the image. I like the feel of it. I like her attitude. The windows and back distract me. I would tone down that background a little bit more. Any of those top spots, I'd tone them way down. So really, her face pops.
This is something, there's some issues that I have. Her right arm looks so big. She is a swimmer and she's going to have big arms. Where again, when we talk about an image like this, it's because we like it. We don't talk about it too much. We don't. So we're liking this image a lot. I think it's a very, very strong image. It's one that could be in a sports magazine. So we've done a nice job with it. There's little things that Tom talked about that we worked on.
And the white speck on her chest as well.
And one last thing, what I would do is, if it is a composite, flip the image, move her to the right side. All you have to do is knock down the Speedo that's on the suit, and then the logo that's on her swim cap, and it's easy to do. And I think that would improve the image considerably, because then you're looking into her.
Yep.
79. The author.
I like this image a lot. I'd like to see it cropped differently. The leading line of the railing on that right is really distracting. I want to see him. So I'd like to see most of that railing cut off and toned down slightly. The windows are slightly bright too. And what do you think?
Yeah, with what's straight in front of us, we're having technical issues, but we're going in and eating all the things that are bad. We're pointing those out right now. If you could address the back of the benches, the highlights on that, and knock that down. The light in the upper left-hand corner, the doorway bothers me, but don't take it out because it bothers me, because I think it's an initial part of it. I would darken down the seats on the right-hand side, and I think I would retitle it.
Yeah, it needs definitely to be retitled.
And I'm looking at a title of something to do with the brightness outside, the overexposure of the outside, and his age, and that he is reaching the end, and he could live another 25 years. But I think if you tie those two together with a title, I think some of the problems that we're talking about could be overlooked.
I really like the lighting on him. The surroundings are distracting. I don't know how to fix that so it would make it wow.
For me, this reaches into the realm of street photography. You end up taking these unbelievable images. They don't fit the format of the PPA sometimes, but this is an outstanding image that would go along with some of the great pictorial street photography. So I'm really enjoying it. You're just going to have to work on some cropping on this to make it work. Love it.
And I'm playing here with the cropping of where I'm coming down 3/4 of the way down through the windows, taking half of the railing out on the right-hand side and an inch on the bottom, and putting his face almost in the upper right-hand quadrant. But he has so much character that I want to see that.
81. Season to remember.
I'd like to see tonality overall brought down 20–25%, and then cropped in tighter yet.
Agreed.
Said.
78.